you remember when we last took the show to New Orleans, when in August, and I got the "Don't Spurse Me, Bro" T-shirt? Don't spurse me, bro. One of the most frustrating things about the debate about chemical dispersants that were used on the BP oil spill was that no one knew exactly what the dispersants were. Even when we visited the LSU lab where the chemicals are being studied, monitoring their effect on the oil, in the lab they were only labeled with letters and numbers. They had codes. Even the scientists were not allowed to know what was in the dispersants while they were studying them because it was proprietary information. It was some company's trade secret. The total amount of dispersants dumped into the Gulf of Mexico during the BP crisis was on the order of 1.8 million gallons, and we still have no idea what that stuff actually was. Trade secret. Mama's secret recipe, 11 herbs and spices, and cancer. Which brings me to the problem of lighting your own tap water on fire. This is video from Gasland. Watch this. Watch. Oh, geez. Yeah. Gasland, a recent HBO documentary about the process of hydraulic fracturing, aka fracking. If "Don't frack me, bro" t-shirts do not already exist, someone I'm sure is getting the printing press ready. Like BP's dispersants, we have no idea why this guy's water catches on fire. At least in a chemical sense, we do not have a 100% idea about it. Fracking is a process by which companies drill for natural gas by pumping a whole lot of water really, really hard into the ground. Included with that water is some magical, unknown, proprietary potion of chemicals that we're not allowed to know about. On an average fracking site, they are pumping this mystery stuff like 8,000 feet underground. A typical aquifer from which people get their drinking water is about 1,000 feet underground. Any chance of things getting mixed up, poisoned, contaminated there? That brings us to the site again of people lighting their drinking water on fire. Don't frack me, bro. Joining us tonight for the interview is someone who is known as an actor and a director, and increasingly as an environmental advocate on the subject of fracking. Mark Ruffalo. Hi, thanks for coming in.
I'm so glad to be here.
Did I get anything wrong about in the description of fracking there? You sort of know a lot about it.
No, you pretty much covered it beautifully.
Why are you interested in this issue?
Well, I happen to live in an area where this is going to be done in pretty mass industrial rollout.
Wow.
In upstate New York. I'm raising a family in Callicoon, New York, and I've heard about this about 2 or 3 years ago. I started studying it. My study took me to Dimmock, PA, where people had their wells poisoned, and I saw it for myself, and I saw that people really didn't have a voice. There was no one backing these people up. The local governments had turned their back on them, the state government, and I decided, you know what, for my family, this is my life, these are my neighbors, these are my people. I have to be involved.
In upstate New York, like portions of Pennsylvania, any place where there's natural gas that's essentially locked up in shale, locked up in rock, that's why companies use this process.
That's right. Okay. It's actually small pockets of gas that are locked up in the shale, and they crack the shale with such high pressures of water and chemicals that they allow the gas to percolate to the surface. And like you see, these chemicals are ending up in people's wells, and gas is ending up in people's wells. And today, in Dimmock, PA, where we see this happening, they have to build a 7-mile pipeline to a municipality because the entire aquifer in a 7-mile radius has been poisoned.
Wow.
They've been using that water for 100 years.
And the way that the companies are getting access to the shale that they're doing this to is by offering people money for the mineral rights on their land. So they're approaching like farmers and people who own any land of any amount, even small amounts of land to do this.
That's right. And the desperation of the farmers who, a big constituency is dairy farmers up there, have been losing their farms. There's been 100 suicides of farmers, dairy farmers, in the last 2 years in America. We've lost 150 dairy farms in the last 10 years, 150,000 dairy farms in the last 10 years. So they can't make a living wage farming.
Yeah.
And because of that, they're being forced to lease their lands. And, no one loves their water and land more than a farmer does. And so I see it as a two-pronged problem. So I've been working to, I'd love it for Tom Vilsack to just to sign a $20 per hundredweight of milk, which is, they make $14 a hundredweight of milk. That's $14 for 8.6 gallons of milk. It's crazy. It's $1.10 a gallon.
Yeah. And so if farmers were able to make more of a living off of the farming, then they wouldn't be selling out.
Exactly.
Are you finding political allies on this? Are you hopeful that something will be done on this?
Yeah, Maurice Hinchey, who's the congressman of my area, has been out front on this. He has the FRAC Act, which is in Congress right now. And what it's doing is it closes the Halliburton loophole, which has basically said that there's no regulation for this industry. They do not have to tell us the 590 chemicals that they're putting in the ground.
And that was passed during the Bush administration.
2005 Energy Act, Dick Cheney's legacy to our country.
Pump whatever you want into the ground. It's fine.
Just
you don't have to disclose
pump it down there. And I say, if gas drilling is so safe, then there's no problems with gas drilling. How come there's so many problems with gas drilling? If you people think that what you're putting in the ground is so safe, then why don't you come into regulation under the Clean Water Act and the Safe Drinking Water Act? They've been fighting it tooth and nail.
Would it matter? I mean, in terms of the companies disclosing what they're doing with this stuff, to me, that's the most incredible thing about it, that they don't have to tell us, and it is our drinking water, and it's everybody's drinking water. I mean, really, it's one big aquifer out there. It all comes to all of us, ultimately.
Where I live in the Delaware River Basin, that is the watershed for 19 million people. We have the cleanest water in the country, coming into New York, Philadelphia, and parts of New Jersey. 5% of our population, it could have their water poisoned or contaminated by this process, and there's no way of regulating it.
Amazing.
The Delaware River Basin Commission, who has been charged with keeping the Delaware River watershed safe, is on the fast track to begin drilling ASAP. They want to put 30,000 wells in there.
You hollering about it may stop them from doing that. I'm getting the sense.
Don't make me mad. You wouldn't like me when I'm mad.
Mark Ruffalo, actor, director, and big-time activist on this issue. It's really good to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
All right. So from fracking to TARP, also several other words I never knew existed before last year. Please stay with us.